name out loud. Oh, we're not live yet. There we go. Now
Now
we're
we're live. Contemplating the demise of a friend? Is that what we do on the week of Thanksgiving? On the holiest of weeks?
Do not play online chess with cautious is what you're gonna learn. I am not.
I haven't, like, I'm good at chess, but I'm also terrible at chess. Like, I want to play it, but, like, obviously I'm out of practice, so I can't even trash talk. Like, I can't say, yeah, I'm going to beat you, because in reality I'm not. I'm going to sit down and go, yeah, this is the first time I've played in, like, 20 years. Let me sit down, and then I'm just going to,
The night goes L. Yes.
The night goes That's it! That's exactly... I was trying to teach my son that. I was trying to teach Connell how to play chess, and I'm like, no, he moves like an L, and he's like...
Why?
Why? Can he just do this? I don't know. Those are checker rules. I have failed.
We'll get there. We'll
get there.
Welcome to the Mid-Geek crisis, everyone. We are
episode 102. 102. One more than a Dalmatian.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. One more. Actually, wasn't there 102 Dalmatians at movie?
Do we talk about that?
I don't know. I don't know what we talk about anymore.
We talk about 102 Dalmatians. Yes, there was a.
Welcome to the Mid-Geek crisis, right? Episode 102.
It's the week of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's right.
We give lots of thanks in this year of fire and flame. In this year of fire and flame.
The dark side of Joe, the light side of Chris.
Yeah, I see that word, dark and light. I love it. Let's kick this off right. Welcome to Mid-Geek crisis, everyone. So welcome back to the Mid-Geek crisis again. We took a week off. I had some home problems. Like, it was just work and time and just life happened, man. It was like
we're like 7 or 8 episodes. One of us has to take the day off, so
we just have to.
Glad you did.
Yeah, it was exhausting. The previous week was launch week, and I played games weekend and whatnot, and then like I hit the week running on Monday. It was I was on call that week, and I had lots of calls at night, and I stayed up late and came in early, and it was just...
Got it done.
So Tuesday, like, second day of the week, I was just like...
It's all right. It's the work. What's up, Chance? Thanks for jumping on. Caleb, appreciate you jumping on.
Welcome, everyone. Again, welcome back. We took a week off, like I said, and I'm sure lots of people are playing games.
All sorts of new games. I see you've been playing Miles Morales, a little bit of Spider-Man. Had a good time. Did you get all the Chivos, or have you moved on already?
No, of Miles and all that? No, I haven't. I'm working on that. I'm actually going back and play. I fired through... So let's talk about that.
New console joy.
New console joy, right? So when new console happens... you tend to consume some of the early games really and
some people do.
Some people do, like in a very voracious manner sometimes. Everyone's kind of rushing through it. I didn't want to rush through it, especially considering that the first game I played on the PS5 ended up being a game that was already out, which is Spider-Man. But I ended up playing Spider-Man Remastered. When you bought the deluxe copy of Miles, you got a complete copy of a digital copy of the PlayStation, or the new remaster version.
That's the Puddles as Promised.
The Puddles as Promised. Oh, it was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Looks great. 4K 60. Fantastic looking game. Great story. But we'll talk about that in a second. I then went through that. Got my basic trophies. I'm about 80% on the campaign. Nice. Which is 80% of like all of the collectibles for Peter Parker, and then there's 3 DLCs that were added. So those are 3 separate stories that you can play. That I'm gonna play those as well. But after I finished the main story, 80%, I jumped to Miles Morales.
Sure. And
Miles is a shorter game, but in a better way. I want to. What's going on? I want to talk about that, story-driven games. So do you ever have trouble playing a lot of these games? I know you like to play a lot of the Assassin's Creeds and whatnot, and I know you Chivo hunt. Like, you definitely go for the Chivo hunt. How many hours would you say is the entirety? Like, if you were to put like a guesstimate of how many hours you dump into an Assassin's Creed game,
Well, I don't know, 40 to 50,
You think
depending on
so?
40 to 50 maybe. Yeah,
And does that get you 100% Chivo?
yeah, usually. Maybe a little more. I think the more recent one, like Black Flag, was much longer because of all the sailing, and Syndicate was much shorter because it wasn't as it was easier to travel around. So yeah, 40 to 50, maybe as high as 60 hours.
Yeah. So
And
we.
I'm a bad player. Like I'm all like, oh god damn it, I forgot to get that Chivo, so I'll have to go all the way back to that other town and do it, things like that. So
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
the most
Yeah.
efficient
I'm the
gamer.
same way. Like with Spider-Man, I think I did pretty well. I got to 80% by the end of the story, so I was pretty efficient on hitting up the regions of New York. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's all split up into boroughs. So it's like as you jump into every like Chinatown or Harlem or whatever, you kind of run through and kind of do all of the things in that area. Um, so there we go. Yeah, I'm 80 hours into AC Odyssey, and I think I'm 2/3. Yeah, so that's
To be fair, I haven't played the two recent ones, and they're like $15 right now on a holiday special. And I'm like,
yeah,
should
go
I
for it.
get them? Do
Yeah,
I
go
want
for
to
it.
get them?
Unless you're waiting for Microsoft to just buy Ubisoft. And then
Honestly,
at
yes.
this point, yes.
Welcome aboard, Perkamy. Thanks for jumping on.
What's going on? So yeah, I think. So do you? I guess my conversation here should be more the value of a game. Are you okay with a game being a good short, nice 20 hours, or do you expect 40 to 50 hours in a game?
It depends on how much I pay for it. Um, I'd rather have a good 20 hours than a repetitive 40.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So like the first Assassin's Creed is a great example of a game that was repetitive to get all the achievements, and
Yeah.
the story wasn't
It's
that big.
it's a
Riding
slog.
between cities is a slog. Dealing with the constant groups is a slog. So that one isn't one that I'd want to play. But going back to like even GTA, Rolls makes a good point there. GTA, I didn't 100% it because of all the multiplayer game achievos, but I did 100% all the single player achievements, and that one was a lot of work. But even that I did in like 20, 25 hours, just because most of it was just repeating the same jump over and over again. But you can easily get 7 years into it and still be at 50% if you're doing the multiplayer, especially.
I think I'm in the same boat. I'm like 7 years into GTA. I got it. I didn't buy it at launch for the 360 because I knew the new consoles were coming out, and I knew we had to wait almost a year for them.
Well, you did. I had already beaten it.
You had already beaten it, but we had to wait almost a year into the new console lineup for us to get like GTA. So I ended up buying for PS4, and I'm like at 50% of the story, let alone the campaign. Just
50% of the story.
yeah, like I
so there's a break right in the middle that they force you to do something. I mean, I can spoil it at this point. It's been out for 200 years.
that you don't want to do.
There's a torture moment. You don't want to do it, and you have to do it to move the story forward. And I feel like that is the place where most people will break, right? You have to do this torture scene, and it's just uncomfortable. It's bad. It's like the worst 24 thing. It's just
like here. That's another thing.
Unasked for, unwarranted. It's kind of like stripper scenes. You really don't want to do it, but if the story makes you do it, you'll do it. Torture scene was the same way. You really don't want to do it, but the story makes you do it, so you do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same way. Like I just don't like the characters.
Here's a dirty secret.
Is that okay?
Rockstar knows that, which is why they don't release single-player DLC for their games anymore.
Yeah, is that what it is?
They know because they get all the data. They know who's beating their games. They know how many people have 100%ed it. They know what people do.
Do you think me as a player that isn't a big GTA player is causing them to go, you know what, that guy didn't beat it, so maybe we shouldn't do it? Because the people that consume Grand Theft Auto consume it. Like they fire through the campaign. They go through all the secrets they're finding, like the
and then they switch to multiplayer and they play that.
Right, but I mean, only because they have nothing else to play in the original campaign.
I mean, that could be it. What they discover are people like me who do all the achievements for single player, work their butt off doing the stunt jumps, even though I hate them. So the next game, they're like, let's have more stunt jumps, right? Which is a terrible sort of, terrible sort of data.
It's like Destiny, where Destiny says, oh, to get this weapon or whatever, you got to do the PvP.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I don't want to do the PvP. I'm playing
this. I gotta do it to get the weapon.
To get the weapon or do the
and then
event.
the next one, they're like, oh, everybody loves this. Yep, I think, never.
No, I believe you. I believe you. I think people enjoy the open worldness of GTA. That's cool. That's an open world game. I just think that's a different game. It's no longer GTA 5. It is GTA 5 Online. And they call it that. I mean, they're even going to give you that with the PS5. They're going to give you that new online module for free. But I just think it's like just break it up, make it a new game, make it a downloadable, make it a service, make it a Fortnite, make it.
Well, that's what they do with Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption Online, they're going to sell it as its own service. But you gotta get people in the door, right? Some people like me will never play the online thing. Look, for a game like GTA Online, you've got to have the hardcore players, and you got to have nubs like me willing to get on and be robbed by those hardcore players, right?
Yeah.
You need that PvP community to get.
So
up.
are you the easy meat?
Yeah, I'm easy meat.
You're the low hanging fruit for the beginning sharks. The sharks that are gonna be big at one point, they just come in, kill you. Yes, got that kill. Boost that confidence, and then move on.
I'm the low hanging fruit for people like my brother who just enjoy trolling people, right? Who get sent to the mean server because that's who they are, right? That's what it is.
Also, you got to commend Rockstar for that, like the fact that they're like, hey, you grief people, you do whatever, we put you all together.
Yeah, we put you in the grief server, and then you just grief each other.
Grief each other, and it's just like a hell pit. It's like Lord of the Flies.
It's worse than Lord of the Flies. It's Battle Royale. Like, it's really bad.
So, Spider-Man was great, but it was padded. You can tell it was padded.
Yeah, it's got some content that pads up.
It had a great story. But there's moments where you're like, wait, what? Now I have to do a stealth mission as Mary Jane? Like, I have to do, like, oh, God, here's 2 hours of my life where all that ends up happening is she gets this disc, and then, like, Spider-Man comes in and saves her. And I'm like, yay! Now I get to play the character that I was playing a second ago. Like, and all of that in Miles, when Miles was released, they're calling it it's a separate game, but it's also seen as, like, a sliver because it's the same map, just in a different season, so it's now winter.
Sure.
It's Christmas, so it's beautiful to see.
Like wear the hoodie.
You get to wear the hoodie, you get to do all that. But at the same time, they've reduced it. They cut all of that fluff out of the game and just gave me a tight, short, good story with the exact same beats, the same story, the same feels as the original 2018 game. Just the Miles Morales character.
They cut the floof.
They cut all of that. It just feels so good, and it makes me want to go back and play that game. Like, go back and finish those campaign bits because I finished the story so quick.
Those are the kinds of games we want, right? That's the kind of things we want. Yeah.
Right, but that game is being sold for $39.99, like $40. So, like, I want developers to know that if you want to give me all of your big open world games at that price point, fair, and then sell the rest of it in DLC to make it to the $60 and $70, I think I'd be okay with that. Like let's say Assassin's Creed. If Assassin's Creed, the story, the main campaign, just like the initial like idea for Assassin's Creed, whatever the case may be, was just the $40 price point, but then they gave you another, $20 worth of DLC that added all of those extra 30 hours of gameplay.
I'm not gonna pay $20 for Chivos though.
But let's say it's more story because again, Spider-Man has more story involved. There's little side quests and whatnot, but it's like a lot of it is padding or it's achievement hunting.
I'm with you. I think there's room for both, right? I mean, I think there's room for both.
Right. They're terrible.
And I hated the stealth missions.
They're just like it really takes you like one moment you're
GTA has stealth missions too. Why like in stealth games, stealth missions are fine. In games with not stealth, don't make stealth.
But what makes it worse
provide an alternate way to beat them.
Stealth missions as Spider-Man are badass because you're freaking Spider-Man. You're like I'm on the ceiling, but stealth missions as Mary Jane who can't attack. Like the moment you get caught, it's just like wait, and then restart the mission.
Oh.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So she can't attack. She can't do anything. She can't defend herself.
Stealth missions in Assassin's Creed. Oh, now I'm caught. Guess I'll kill all these guards.
Right. Spider-Man the same way. If you're gonna do it for stealthy kills, you're gaining your I forgot what they call his build up. But when you do stealth kills or takedowns. Yeah, you're taking down the stealth, and you feel great. There's achievements involved or trophies involved to it and all that. But as someone that can't do anything, you're just like, this is annoying. I'm just dodging flashlights and like throwing little beacons to like make noises on the other side of the room to make. What is that?
See, that's fun when that game is designed for that, right? Like Metal Gear Solid. That's fun in that kind of game where it's designed.
But you also have a pistol to like put them out and drag the body.
No, I know. There's alternate ways to beat it.
Yeah.
I mean, Yeah, some games you want to try and play it stealth, and then other games you don't. And I hate games that make me play other characters for no reason, but to make just to pad it. Hate those games. Or usually I don't like that mechanic where they make you do that for a moment. Even for a moment, it drives me crazy.
Play this side character that you've never played for, and it has none of the moves that your original character has, only so that you can drive.
You know what game was terrible with that? Gears of War. There's always like you it's a cover-based shooter. You're going from scene to scene, cover-based shooting, and then they're like, you know what? Here's this vehicle. And if your vehicle gets spotted, it blows up and you die. Right? And you're like, what the? And the last like 2 missions of the game were like that, where you're like in a tank all of a sudden. You're like, I spent the whole game honing myself as a killing machine.
Yeah, I know, just so that I get blown up. Yeah. Yep.
It's just one of those like, why would you do this to me? What's the jackass that wanted this final fight?
It is fair at the end when you finally get to General Ram on that game. You're like, yes, oh, God, all those freaking tank reloads over and over again.
And they do it again in this thing. Don't you wind up on a jet bike and you have to fight in the air? Like, it's just hate those kind of things. So
yeah. Escort missions, boo. Padding a game. So that's what I guess.
I get what you're getting at. I would love to pay $40 for a great story game. That would be amazing. And I have. So like Assassin's Creed has the old, not old, but they put out a bunch of 2D games.
Yeah, the Chronicles games.
The Chronicles games. Those were like $20. Solid story, not as many Chivo hunting moments, and they were just great to play. Like really fun to play, get engaged with the story, and move on from there.
Yeah, I hope Miles is getting tons of praise. By the way, I mean,
sure,
spoilers or not. Oh, if you're getting it in Christmas or whatever, I mean, I'm not going to spoil any of the story, but they already put out their accolades trailer, where they tell all the,
Did it qualify for Game of the Year?
It did not. It did not, but it did make the cutoff. So I thought that was interesting that the cutoff is November 20th.
I know you were talking about this.
We'll be talking about that. No, November 20th is the cutoff date for Game of the Year. So that's the end of it's a couple days ago. Any game that came out up to that point, Miles Morales came out like the last week, so people have only played it for 1 week. Yeah. And I for sure thought that it wasn't going to be nominated for anything, and it wasn't nominated for Game of the Year. Which, to be fair, it is a great game and probably should be in that running, but. Then at the same time, I was like, no, it wasn't in there because maybe of time of play. But then they nominated voice acting and all that for best voice acting. I'm like, wait a minute, but like, can we really?
I think I wanted to mention it on Facebook. I was like, let me save it for the show.
Yes.
How do you define the cutoff time, right? Like, how long should they get to play a game? And then games are released all the time, so you never know when the game's going to be
tough,
out there.
Right? I think
wasn't that game last year nominated for all these awards and was only out for like a week or 2 weeks?
It happens every year. This is a conversation we have every year. I just think it's interesting that, first off, the Video Game Awards probably should happen in like February.
Yeah, but this is the season when they can do it, right? So,
right. Well, it's the VGAs, right? So, but they do it in December. But then they do the cutoff in November. But all of the games, all the holiday games, kind of come out right in between September to November. So like, there's like this moment of like,
they just can't. Pergamene got ahead of me here. You can't be in the same time period as all the awards.
Yeah, but I mean, are we really? I mean, not to say that the Grammys and the Oscars and all that can't happen. It's just, I think they do it for a reason, right? They do it because they want to encompass the entire year. And there's a cutoff, and the nominations happen, and allowing the holiday season or the summer. Like the Grammy nominations happen after the summer because everyone's trying to release their summer hit, right?
Is that really why?
Yeah, that's usually the case. I mean, I remember LPs.
I don't know. I don't give a shit about awards, so I don't know.
That's fair.
I don't know when or why things have happened, except that they've always happened around the same time period, right?
Yeah, let's see. So the Oscars do it in February because of the holiday rush. Games should do the same, right? They should do the same. I think the holiday rush is allowing people to kind of marinate in those games for the holiday, and then do the cutoff at the end of the year, or maybe January 15th or whatever, and then I don't know.
Dirty secret. It's brought to us by Mountain Dew, and
of course it is.
So December marketing still has some money left. February, all that money is going towards the Super Bowl. So like, imagine your marketing budgets and
by the way, this is Cautious talking as marketing man, so listen to him because he knows what he's talking about.
I just imagine when your company that would sponsor the Video Game Awards, where their money's going at different time periods. February, all that money is going to be allocated towards the Super Bowl or Super Bowl related events, I assume.
Yeah.
So you can't really take your eyes off of that. That's my guess, right? It's Doritos doesn't want.
Same. I'm like, so I honestly, I don't really care much for the Oscars. The Grammy nominations came out today, and they snubbed a bunch of great artists. And like The Weeknd, which had like the song of the summer, didn't get nominated for album of the year. So again, I get nominations are silly. What's nice about the Game Awards is they make the nominations, but then we vote on them. So you go to the website and vote. So like there is a voting like.
I'm with you.
Thing.
I mean, Grammys are the worst. They are.
They are. They really are.
I like watching the two. Chance. I mean, I like Snide commenting it the whole time. Like I enjoy.
We've done it 2 years in a row, right?
Waldorf. I like being a dumbass. I like being curmudgeonly about it and just enjoying it in that way.
I love seeing developers that don't belong in public dress up like they're idiots, wear a wrinkly shirt and a blazer,
wrinkled T-shirt and a suit jacket. I assume they borrowed from their dad. Like it's it's what I love. I love my developers. It's a good hate watch. That's a good way to put it, especially.
Right. Chance, that's exactly it. Like I saw the nominations today, and I was like, wait, and I saw that The Weeknd was trending in Twitter, and I was like, why are they talking about that? I'm like, oh, what? I'm like, what? Freaking, his song was like everywhere this year. How do you not nominate that entire album? It makes no sense.
Popular doesn't mean.
Yeah, I know. Popularity doesn't mean. I get it.
Unless you're Titanic or Avatar, like.
Unless you're James Cameron.
Unless you're James Cameron. Make shitty movies that win awards.
So yeah, so I've consumed. I'm excited for the VGAs. I'm excited. Miles Morales probably should have been on. Since he is on that list, he should have been a Game of the Year, but he's not. So alas, I won't hate too much on that because again, that game came out right like the week before.
I gotta go back. I don't think I played any of the Game of the Years.
Right. So let's pull up.
I haven't played a single one of them. If I'm honest with you, from the VGAs. I saw that Spiritfarer got awarded.
It did like a few times.
It was like biggest impact and maybe story or score. Great, fantastic game. I don't know if you've played it yet. It is the perfect game for right now.
It really is. It really is. Oh god, I'm gonna pull up these nominees. Voting jury. Let's see here. God, the perfect game for it. Yes, it is.
Excuse me.
All right.
Was Ghost on there? I feel like there were some pretty good ones. I've never heard of The Weeknd until Super Bowl halftime.
Hey, but
that's okay.
Daniel, that's okay. But fantastic artist, and to be fair, he's kind of mainstream, but at the same time, he this particular album, which I thought was hilarious, is that he decided to do a lot of synthwave in this new album, which is causing synthwave to kind of hit the charts, and the entire synthwave community is like, we've been doing this music for the past since late 80s, and now all of a sudden people are like,
get better marketers.
Well, I mean, it's like
I've been playing D&D since I was 12, and all of a sudden everyone wants to play it. And now apparently chess is getting a new second life because of Queen's Gambit on Netflix, and I'm like,
right, there you go.
I'm going to be taken over.
You're like, wait a minute, this is my game. No, we don't gatekeep, right? I'm glad
we don't gatekeep.
Right, here we go.
This is our expert, resident music expert, Pergamene, is going to tell us. All right, synthwave is having a global moment. There were 3 consecutive big K-pop synthwave hits this summer. There you go.
Right, and K-pop is actually in the charts for the Grammys this year, which is interesting to me.
Good for them.
Again, it's a new time for music.
It's like I love pop music, and K-pop is so. Oof.
Yeah.
It's called castling, Chance. It's called castling for the record.
Castling. Hey, what's going on, Tim? Hey, let's welcome Tim. Tim has been watching our show for the longest time, but he hasn't had a console in forever, and he picked up an Xbox One S, not the new one, but the previous gen One S because it was on sale. He needed a new player, and he's been enjoying and devouring the Game Pass games as much as he can. He's been
welcome back to the fold, Tim.
Welcome back to the fold for sure.
It's awesome.
Let's take a look at these nominations here. I wanna talk about some of these.
Yeah, our producer's been on vacation for a little bit. There we go. Oh, this is actually a very nice format. So Animal Crossing, no surprise. I guess that's the only game I played. I haven't played Doom Eternal. I was surprised a remake would get on there, but I guess. Hades, I've heard good things about, and The Last of Us Part 2 was a big deal at the beginning of the year, right?
Right. Well, yeah, middle of the year. Yeah, beginning. Oh, man, I don't even remember anymore. Yeah.
Back when Australia was on fire, or was it Murder Hornets? I don't
I think
exactly
it was
remember.
Murder Hornets, right?
I think it was Murder Hornets. I don't
So
remember
yeah,
the exact
so let's
time.
talk about so Animal Crossing. I played, devoured, love, still play. You know, get a couple minutes a day, give or take. My wife is still devouring it. We love it. Holiday event is coming up right now. We're having a Thanksgiving one and a Christmas one soon. I think that's great. Final Fantasy VII Remake was a great game. It is a remake, but it's also a whole new game, right? So it's like 40 hours just in.
It's a weird precedent, though, right? Because now you can remake games and add some stuff and hopefully get another award, right? So
right.
It just sets a precedent that weirds me out whenever you do that, right? Yeah, that's exactly it. Rolls. We just dropped you're ahead of us. What maybe? Yeah, thoughts on a remake being nominated? It's weird, right? At the end of the day, it is a remake. Yeah, we beat you too. We wanted to talk about it. Ghost of Tsushima. You just started playing that, right?
So that's the third game. So I have beaten completely Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and the next game I decided to jump on was a game that I missed out on the PS4, which again got kind of like a power upgrade with the PS5. You know, faster frame rate. That game is beautiful.
I mean, the images I've seen makes me yearn.
Absolutely amazing looking, and yeah, that might be my pick on this list. Even though I love Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing, the game is beautiful enough and story driven enough that I think it fits all categories in that. So
I mean, for me, Animal Crossing is the only one I've played, right?
But I think
I also think like it's perfect for the year, depending on your definition of game of the year.
Yeah,
no Xbox games.
Yeah, not a single one.
Right, Doom Eternal, you could play it on the Xbox,
but it's not no exclusive. And this is again a conversation we've had on this show before, talking with the idea that Microsoft really has slumped with the single player campaign games. They like the story driven, the campaign, the game that really makes you want to like immerse yourself. Everything is like they give it to the third party, so they allow like Assassin's Creed, like Ubisoft, and all these other companies to make those games. But Microsoft needs to come out and really compete with games like Spider-Man.
They've given up this field. I mean, Game of the Year and Best Game Direction, none of these games are amongst their list of games for the year.
So, none of them. So, I mean, we're talking about Sony Interactive has 2 games. Has three games. Is it 3?
They dominated the
so it's technically 3 games on Game of the Year. It's 2 Square Enix, but the game isn't on any other system. You can't play it on anything.
Can't play the remake anywhere else. Nope.
Yeah. So I mean, right now it's.
I can play the non-remake.
You can play the non-remake. You can play the non-remake on your Switch.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So yeah, game direction. There we go. Hades is an interesting one because that game was in early access when Epic Games Store came out. Remember when they announced the Epic Games Store during the VGAs? They allowed you to download it and download the Hades game and play it in early access. So that was like 2 years ago. So
I know Pergamon's been killing it, playing it over and over again, getting multiple runs. So
yeah.
I know a lot of folks have been playing a lot of it. I see we got The Last of Us was great, but Emotion Punished Me. That's pretty much all the reviews going out there.
Yeah.
And Ghost is so good. This is what Chance is going out there, right? So we got a lot of competition here.
Yeah, Ghost is really good.
And yeah, hit my 6 clear today. There we go. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Oh man! Wow. Yeah, that's a tough. I haven't played it yet. Like I've seen lots of
roguelites. You gotta once you get your teeth into them and you get that rhythm going, you get strung out on the good stuff.
That's what I did with Dead Cells, right? Like Dead Cells was that one kind of like that rogue-like platformer action game where you could just kind of replay it over and over and over.
And you're like, man, this is really hard. And you get that rhythm, and then you get sort of strung out on that good feeling of like the good response.
Well, that's what happened with you in Undermine, right?
Oh yeah, Undermine. Yep. I stopped at 5 runs down though. I was like, I got to play something else, or else I'm gonna play this forever.
Microsoft does have one nomination under Best Art Direction, which is Ori and the Will of the Wisp.
There you go. Xbox
absolutely
Studio.
Beautiful game. Moon Studios killed it. I think it sucks that it's not nominated for Game of the Year, just because I think the story has everything that any of the other games has. So it really should have
more than Animal Crossing.
It does. It does. It really does.
Game of the Year is, if the category is about best story or best whatever, then that's
right. If you want to talk about all these games right here, and we're talking about story and driven.
But Animal Crossing pretty much encapsulates 2020, right? There was an entire summer where we all played it.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's still being played, but I mean, it is the game of 2020.
I think. This is the hot take, Pergamene, right? I don't think Final Fantasy should be there, and the fact that it took a slot meant a game like Ori couldn't get on there, right?
Yeah.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah,
I
I mean, I
that's the
agree.
wild part. I
I
should say
agree.
crazy.
Only the problem is since it is a remake by name only. I mean, yes, it is the same story, but when you play the game, it's a completely different game. Like the fighting style is completely different. The story, there's all new story involved in it. So, I agree. And then when I look at it, I go, wait a minute, but it's actually not like it's called remake, but they should have really just called it Final Fantasy VII and then give it
Reboot.
well, like not even reboot. Like they, they do subtitle games all the time. Like I think it should have just been called like a new take or something like that, or some sort
Fair.
of something else because it's
Look at
not
this guy
remake.
defending Final Fantasy VII.
I know, I know, and I hate Square Enix and me have a troubled past. I never give them any love because they're that company that promises things like 5 years early, and then by the time the game comes out, everyone's like, "Oh, it's so great!" I'm like, "You guys waited 5 years for this," and like Kingdom Hearts 3 is example of this.
There's a lot of stuff that's waited that long. The games are repeated over and over again on these nominations, man. It's Hades.
You do, although you do see here, look, best audio design. Again, a remake.
A remake. It's a weird world where these remakes are jumping on there. But maybe remaking the sound on Resident Evil 3 might have been a challenge and worth rewarding. Right?
We're seeing this. This is big. Again, that's a VR game. The only way you could play that was with VR, and is it nominated? It's nominated again over here on
best game direction. Yep.
Game direction. So, Alex, that's two big games.
So, for my own education, what is game direction? Is that like best director?
Yeah, yeah. It's like direction plus story. I guess it's a little bit of both.
Different from narrative, though, which is a whole different award. All right, I dig it.
If only. Although we have to wait till like Square takes so long with their games that this was barely not even all of disc 1. If we want to talk about like separating Final Fantasy.
All right, so it's not even complete, and they're getting awards.
Right. It's an incomplete game. It is part 1 of a remake.
I guess Fortnite got awarded, so.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't awarded Game of the Year, right? It was awarded like best ongoing game.
Right. Best forever development game.
So again, Ori, best score in music. I think it deserves that. I think,
although Doom Eternal does have a great soundtrack.
It does, but this is an interesting one because Mick Gordon and Bethesda have fallen apart and fallen ways.
Sure, but that doesn't mean Mick shouldn't be recognized for his work, right?
Right, but he didn't do all that soundtrack.
He did the soundtrack. He did the music for the game, though.
Right, but
the soundtrack was a different story.
Right. So he did a lot of the music for the game, but it wasn't complete, and so there was a lot of filler added by the other sound director that had to.
Oh, he doesn't seem upset that he was awarded this nomination, right? So his name.
Yeah, I'm sure not. Doom wanted a better soundtrack. I can. Yeah.
All right,
fair.
We all have our loves,
but you can only So the interesting take on that is it's MIDI, right? So, you can, however you hear that music, really matters on what hardware you play it on. Like if you're gonna play it on a Sound Blaster with
speculation is overrated. You set Joe off.
I know. It's like I'm just saying, like
so. Games for Impact. Let's see, Spiritfarer. you gotta listen to it on the original Apple II.
I'm just saying, like it's an interesting take. Like it sounds great, but like what version of it, right?
What version of it?
I mean, if you've got a Yamaha external MIDI device, it's going to sound amazing versus a Sound
I'm playing
Blaster.
it on my pregnancy test.
Yeah, that's where you go.
So there's Spiritfarer for Games for Impact, which is what? What is Games for Impact? What does that even mean?
So I don't know. Let's look that up. What is that?
Did the game make you cry? Yes, then Spiritfarer should definitely win.
Maybe that's what it means. Oh, here we go. They actually have for thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message.
All right, then I guess Spiritfarer is the one that wins. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Although
I mean,
Kentucky, yeah. Honestly, if Annapurna wins anything, it should be. They should always be in this category.
Look, this category seems kind of made for them, and then they put Tell Me Why in there, right? Which is another game that kind of buzzed for a while.
Yeah. But it's Xbox Game Studios, but it is what is it? Don't nod. Don't nod.
Don't nod. Yeah.
Don't nod Entertainment. It's a big studio now, even though it was bought by Microsoft.
So why, Chance? Tell me why you voted. I voted Tell Me Why. Is it because you played it all the way through? What was about that one that kicked you off?
Yeah,
Spiritfarer. Every single one of the moments on that game touched me emotionally. It was just a wonderful discussion.
Have you finished it?
I haven't done the final voyage without any spoilers. I haven't done the final one.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm ready. Maybe this weekend, I'll be ready for it.
What rolls? My God, yeah. Annapurna doesn't do like they. God, I think we've been talking about their game. I think one of my favorite games was Annapurna. Oh my God, it was the one I praise about with the music. Oh my God, my head. It's just I'm talking about all these games and I can't think about it. They've been doing all sorts of games. They've been publishing a ton of games.
What's the music game? That's the one.
Sayonara Wild Hearts. Thank you.
Sayonara Wild Hearts. There you go.
I mean, you name it. They did Flower, Donut County, Ashen, Gone Home. I mean, geez, look at these games. These powerhouse games that they've Outer Wilds.
Solid game. Yeah, no, they've put out some. I mean, they're one of the better studios.
I mean, 2019 was so good for them. Look at
you
this.
Like games, they're one of those studios you got to just get out there and play them. Everything they put out is great. Kentucky Route Zero.
Kentucky Route Zero, man.
Oh, it's great.
Such a
Gone
good.
Home is.
The Pathless just came out.
Actually, Pergamene recommended Gone Home to me, and it was fantastic. It was,
yeah.
It was
and they've got a bunch of them coming out soon. So,
and Maquette, we played that at PAX East. PAX East. I was about to say the last PAX East, but I couldn't. Last PAX East, not the last PAX East, right?
So we've got we've got Miles Morales. I don't know how to say his name.
Best performance.
Najee
Jeter. Anthony Jeter, good.
Yeah. So he did Miles Morales. He killed it as Miles Morales. Fantastic performance. Interesting. Again, you've got all of these other performances that have been there for us to kind of like enjoy for a while, marinate, and then we just got a week ago. So
it's great. See, there's good. There you get the other ones you get to think about. Here's Dan Camp coming in. Nintendo Snob. Never heard of these. I know a lot of these games are on the Switch. Dan, come on. Maybe not. A lot of these games are on the Switch.
Yeah, check it out. A lot of these are on the Switch. So if you've got a Nintendo, I mean,
whoa! There's a Spelunky 2.
Yeah, have you been missing out, buddy?
I've been missing out. Is that on the Xbox? That
yes,
game?
It is. Yes, it is.
I
it's
have
not on Game Pass.
I memory of breaking a controller because of Spelunky.
Carrion is on there, which I thought was really cool.
Carrion was a lot of fun. That was a great game.
Fall Guys is interesting because it's kind of like an online game. It's kind of like a mass multiplayer game. So
but they kind of put out a great indie online like a different take on the battle royale when everybody was kind of getting tired of battle royales, right?
Yeah. I find it interesting that Among Us is on here for mobile game when it's on everything else, but yes, it is playable on iOS and Android. So that's
Among Us and Genshin Impact. I feel like are the two that are really gonna.
Yeah, they're gonna kill it. These are the two to win.
That category.
These two gonna win. Best ongoing. What do you think on this one?
I mean, I really want No Man's Sky to win it. I really do.
I think No Man's Sky is the redemption story it deserves, right?
It needs to win an award because it is where it should be at this point, and it is phenomenal.
It is phenomenal. Talk about a game that was just dragged through the mud. I mean, remember when we came out, we were just like,
"Yep, that's exactly right." I was surprised to see No Man's finally get the recognition, and good for them. They just kept plugging away at it until they delivered, and they have delivered.
They have delivered. It is a fantastic game.
I love the game. My brother is the only game he wants to play now. And,
I see it. I turn on my Xbox at like 3:00 in the morning. I see No Man's Sky on there. I'm like, what is he going on here? So
he's playing. He probably fell asleep on the couch, but he's playing it all the time. I keep calling him out because I know he listens to the show.
Nice. Valorant here. I see that the right game's got one nomination. Boo.
So Specialist is overrated. Is it worth playing these days? Yes. It's got a robust tutorial. It's got robust everything. You can
whatever game you played at launch, it is not that game anymore.
Yeah, it's not that game. It's amazing. It's really, really good.
Yes.
If this is the kind of like world building game you enjoy, it's got everything you could want.
You can dump so many hours into that game. It is.
I played it for about 18 hours and then switched to hardcore mode right away. Like I was just like, I'm only going to play this for one life. That's as far as I need.
Oh, you're right. I mean, I've seen that Riot Games got the best mobile game. Like, just, I don't. If there's a company on here that I'm going to constantly like, it's Riot Games.
Yeah. Let's Genshin Impact or Among Us.
Yeah, I think Among Us.
See, look, there it goes. Assassin's Creed Valhalla for innovation and accessibility. Right, that's a brand new game, only a week out. Weird award.
So I wonder what that means. Innovation, like the way to play it, makes it easier Let's see what that means.
That's what I imagine, right? I'm thinking about Grounded, where they took out the terrifying spiders, right? The arachnophobia.
Oh my god.
Accessibility mod. We've talked about this on this show, right? About the grounded spiders making us crap our pants. So yeah, that's what they do.
Recognizing software and or hardware that's pushing the medium forward by adding features and technologies and content to help gamers with disabilities. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I get that. Yeah, that definitely works. So I don't I can't even judge this one because I guess I would have to actually gone in there and taken a look to see what the accessibility
Grounded's the
options
only
were.
one I know that it was up in your face as to what their accessibility options. They were very
Yeah.
clear in how they worked and everything they offered.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's who I voted for because of that. Because I was like, I knew that they added the like, hey, you know, if you've got any phobias or anything like that, you can turn these toggles off or whatever, and make it easier for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Best VR. I voted for Squadrons on this one.
I mean, you've played it twice, right? How many times have you?
Have quite a bit. On
We're,
VR, I do.
we're still playing every
I
Sunday.
know you are every Sunday. I know
Man,
you are.
where are
I know,
you?
I know. I know. Red Six will show up eventually.
Red Squadron's been going out there with only 3 on the weekends.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Best action game is interesting. Again, it's kind of weird to kind of now
Streets of
separate
Rage
them.
4?
Street Rage 4. That's a great one. I think that's definitely not going to win it with Doom Eternal. There. I mean, it's just not going to win it with Doom Eternal. But
Hades might be another contender in this category, by the way.
yeah, I mean, if they don't give Hades any of the other games, they might give it this.
Might
one.
be best action.
But I would actually feel that Doom Eternal was robbed if it doesn't get best action game. I mean, honestly, this is going to be a hard one. So Miles Morales was nominated for action adventure game, but again, it's only been out a week, and I think there's other games on here that have had.
This is such an interesting category to me. Action adventure.
Yeah,
What does that mean?
I don't know, man. Like, this is
Okay,
interesting.
all right. It feels like another role playing category, but I guess not. But all right.
So it's any game that's like maybe third party or third person action, but for example, like Neo 2 is an action game, right? But it doesn't have much of a story. So if you were to look at this one and Ghost of Tsushima, you'd be like, oh, two ninja samurai like characters kind of fighting, but one is more story driven. This one is like move on to the next mob wave, right? Streets of Rage is next mob wave, next wave of enemies.
Sure,
Hades
no,
is next
I
wave.
get Streets of Rage. I kind of get Hades, although Hades has a story, right? It's got an adventure portion to it.
Right, but,
You
but at the
also
same
level
time, it's
up
also
and-
waves and after wave after wave because it's a roguelike. Right?
So would that make Diablo an action or an action adventure?
I would say more action than action adventure.
Fast.
I would say action RPG if I was going to put it as anything else. Adventure game has gotten another kind of like it's been really
So that's
changed
basically that's open world or immersive sim stuff. So how does Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order fit into that? Where would Dark Souls sit in this? Best action or best action adventure?
Jedi Fallen Order, Miles Morales, Ghost of Tsushima, and Assassin's Creed are all very similar in that. Even Last of Us are all very similar in that like story driven, not on the rails. You still have to kind of guess where you're going next, but at the same time,
This is my. No, I think I think
like Assassin's Creed is open world.
Roll said it before. We couldn't fit all these in the action category, so let's make a second category.
That
right?
might be it. I mean, that
Why
might
not
be
just
it.
call it best adventure and move on from there? But then I guess you'd have people like me being like, "What do you mean by adventure?"
Right, but at the same time, what's interesting about that is we can't call them all action because they have 5 here and 6 on this side.
Yep, they couldn't not put in Last of Us Part 2. I think is what
Right,
it needs to be,
right.
like the action adventure.
Who knows? Fighting game. This is going to be an interesting one because again, we talk about remakes and whatnot. This is just another edition of a game, and this is a game that came out many years ago. But because Championship Edition came out, it's now considered a new game.
But it adds even more characters and all that stuff, right?
I guess it's still a patch to a game that was already out there.
There you go. Persona 5. I was like, I know Pergamy likes the Persona.
Yeah, Persona 5 is going to win that one without anything. Again, Yakuza just came out. It just came out. Like it came out in January for Japan.
That's not an action. That's not an action adventure game.
No, it's RPG. It's definitely action RPG for sure. It's
all
turn
right.
based. It's
Action
turn based.
RPG.
It's 100% turn based.
All right, Wasteland 3 is definitely RPG. Persona definitely RPG. Genshin Impact is RPG, and all right. I guess they're really honing in on what role playing means because, like someone said, the AC Valhalla should probably be a role playing game. But
I mean, stat wise, but it's still third party swing. Like I think if you hit the button and you swing the sword and there's no like weird stats attached to it, like it's more like you know what I mean. Like maybe there's like a stat thing going
I
on.
mean, I feel like this is like that famous case. I know it when I see it, right? This is pornography. I know it when I see it. I know it when I see it. That's what it's a.
So Yakuza Like a Dragon, I don't know when it came out. I think it came out the same day. November 12th is when it came out on PS4 and Xbox Series X or Xbox One. It didn't come out for PS5 because it's next gen console exclusive. Oh god. To just Xbox, which I think is completely hilarious
This is
because
the thing you have to say now out loud. It's
yeah, you have to say that out loud. Next gen console exclusive.
because of time dilation, Chance. Also because of 2020. There's a whole lot of.
I mean, Chance, first off, it's Sega. Second, it's a smaller splinter of Sega. And third, it's voice acting. Lots and lots of voice acting. So they have to record all of that in English. So, I mean, they could have waited. They basically finished the Japanese audio and said, release the game, as opposed to going, let's wait for the next.
Look, people are killing. Yeah, game genres are such a mess.
They really are. I mean, it's no different than music, right? Like trying to fit a game, trying to fit a album that might branch into multiple genres.
Yeah, it's because that's why award shows are garbage.
Right.
It's one of the main reasons why award shows are garbage. Because people in smoky rooms decide what games fit into which category, right? Minecraft Dungeons, best family, not best action adventure, right? That's all right. We'll stick it here, I guess.
Right. Even though that's technically it, just because it's a kiddie roguelike doesn't mean it isn't a good dungeon crawling roguelike. Like that was a great game.
It was a lot of fun. And
Although
they're still releasing new content for it.
Although, did you see that this was nominated on there?
Yes, it did. That's the home game. That what? Like what? How many people have played this game? 30, 40 people.
Right. It's also $100 to buy the game, and it's literally an AC or RC car. I mean, don't get me wrong; it's amazing and innovative. I think that should
$400 investment just to play the game.
Yeah, it's a $400 investment to play the game.
For you, by yourself. You're not even playing it with the family. Your family's watching you play it.
Yeah, you're like no.
No. You get your own $400 by your own.
So I think Animal Crossing might take this one because Animal Crossing is not going to get best game of the year. They're going to give that to Last of Us 2. That's my hot take prediction. It's
Which
not
one?
really much of a hot take. Animal Crossing is nominated for best family game here.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to give it this and not give it game of the year.
I think you're underestimating the Nintendo fan base loading all of their.
Oh no! I never underestimate. Dan, you're absolutely right. Best innovation category. That's what I was saying. I'm like, if you want to talk about like maybe a game that came out with a peripheral or a whole new method of gameplay, I think Mario Kart Live should be on there. I think there's a few other games on here that probably like Ring Adventures, the Nintendo game, Labo for Nintendo would have been on there.
Yeah,
as well.
wouldn't best innovation just be like 4 Nintendo games and?
I mean, last year wasn't last year like 4 Nintendo games at one point for family games. So I don't know. I don't know.
Tough. This best sim strategy list here makes me so happy. Although I don't know why Wasteland 3 isn't on there, but that's I guess it was
already on here.
Role playing. Right.
Role playing.
All right.
Have you played Wasteland 3? I know it's on Game Pass. I just haven't played it.
I'm gonna make. I say this often. I started it up. I started the character generation sequence, and I'm like, this game is it's too much meat. It's too much. It looked too dense, and I just couldn't bite into it just then. I wasn't in the right mood. Just not in the right mood. I love the Wasteland games. I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, Dan, that's great. The demo game you're talking about, Astro Boy. The game. Yeah, that game is fantastic, which is interesting because it wasn't nominated for anything. If we want to talk about next gen feel, again, I've talked about it. The controller, the PS5 controller, is a great feeling controller, and that game shows it off. Like you can't even describe it. No video or review can describe how that game feels once you're playing it. But when you put that controller in your hand and you play that game, it's part of the game. The controller is part of the game, and that's great.
That's good stuff. Best sports racing, whatever. Best multiplayer, blah blah blah.
Multiplayer.
So Squadron's not on here. So angry. And Animal Crossing was so hard to play multiplayer. I mean, okay, yeah, it was a lot of fun, but
yeah, I don't see. I mean, Animal Crossing is multiplayer, but it's not like someone comes over to your island to take fruit. Like, there's no actual game you play with them. They run around your island, look at all my shit.
Yeah, look at all my shit and help me make more shit.
Yeah, help me make more shit, and that's it. Like,
yeah, I mean, it was fun whacking people with the net,
the shovel or a net or whatever.
Yeah, shovel, Jesus! What mods do you play?
No, what is it? You dig the hole. You dig the hole that you could make them fall in. Yeah, that's always fun.
There you go. Yeah, Pergamene. I think you're right. Right. Wasteland 2 did it to me multiple times. Right. I felt like it was a couple frustrating encounters that you wind up losing just because you didn't know something, which is frustrating.
This game should be Among Us. I want Among Us to win this one just because I think it's a small enough developer that deserves the praise that it.
I think it's gonna. I mean, it's that or Fall Guys, or I mean, I can't imagine Call of Duty winning any awards at this time.
Oh God, it does, man.
Most anticipated game. What is that category there?
So these are games that haven't come out yet, but we're gonna give them an award anyway.
the pre award, Breath of the untitled sequel, Nintendo. Is that what?
Yeah. Breath of the Wild 2 doesn't even have a final name yet.
It's a sequel, untitled sequel. Let's give it an award. That's amazing. Most anticipated game. I love it.
Yeah, I love that. God
of War sequel.
Well, I mean, that one's got a name. It's Ragnarok, right? I think that's what they're calling it. Elden Ring. That's funny that's coming out. Halo Infinite. Oh, that's so sad that they put this on this list, considering that it was supposed to launch.
I think they should have put Cyberpunk on here. Just to troll. 2077, yeah.
Dude, exactly. Yes, that should have been on there. Yeah, exactly. No 2077. Dan, that's exactly right. That should have been on there. That's definitely a game that should have been on there. It is the most anticipated. I know people that are just like chomping at the bit at that game, and also the cutoff date was November 20th. The game wasn't out by November 20th, so it totally should have been nominated.
It didn't get out by November 20th, though, right? It's
right. The game is at neither are any of these games.
But they're most anticipated. Well, you're right. It should be on most.
It should be on the list.
I imagine they had the list all written out like 1st of November, and Cyberpunk was just already on it, and they had to cross it off all of the lists, handed out.
That.
Oh.
Pergamene, it's not happening, man. No. Like I want it to happen. I want it to happen. What is it? What's his name? How do you say his last name? Milnew, the creator of Fable. That guy is just like, he's gone. He's like, his idea of like what Fable should have been and then what it became is not there.
Peter Milnew.
Keep my name, Peter Milnew. Yeah, he's just like, he's one of those guys. I think what was that? Do you remember that game he made, that Connect game with that like little boy? It was like or I don't know if it ever came out, but it was like a Connect game where he was showing off like this like AI little kid that you talk to. It was like the creepiest game, and he was like, he's got taste buds and he learns from things that he eats and smells, and he talks to you. Yeah, the Connect proof of concept. That was all Peter.
Sure.
That was all Peter, and he was just like all in his head about it. And I'm just like, dude, this is creepy. Also, why did you make it a little boy? Like.
You don't want to play a game where you feed a little boy food and they learn taste?
Yeah.
Oh, even saying it out loud makes me feel a little... well, you know what? We spent a lot of time talking about the Video Game Awards, and I had a great time. Let's talk about what we're thankful for. What are we thankful for?
Well, so I'm thankful for gaming in 2020 right now, right? So that's what we want to talk about now, because we've got 10 minutes.
What a bountiful harvest of games we have before us.
Right.
Games, all types, games for people to play. Games I can play with my daughter, which are fun and interesting. And maybe age inappropriate. I'm not sure yet. We just started playing River City Girls.
Oh yeah,
that's on Xbox Pass. Yep, we played. I was like, oh, it's just like Streets of Rage, and she enjoyed that. And then the girls start talking. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be playing this with my 7-year-old daughter.
Yeah, my 6-year-old is playing it. And they make a comment about the creepy guy when you have to go get him the burger.
Yeah. You know, she saw the guy and she's like, that guy's creepy. And I'm like, good, your radar's on point.
Radar's on point. So at the very beginning of the game, you have to go get him the burger, and he's like, hey, it's like, I see you all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
She got it right away. Ooh, yeah, no, thankfully, yep. I'm thankful for health and employment if you have it. Baseline. Thankful for family if you have it. Or friends, if that's what you prefer, right? We're all thankful for that.
So real quick, just because I want to stay on topic, I wanted to ask you, and then maybe you can ask me, or I'll answer the question.
Sure.
2020 has been hard on all of us. It's been mental health wise, it's been hard on us. I mean, we've had conversations after the show. We're just like, "How you holding up, man?" And we're just kind of like,
we do check-ins. We do
check-ins, and we have to check in on each other because it's hard. And hopefully everyone in our audience allows us to bring a little joy once a week to them in conversation.
I'm thankful for the show. It has been a boon, a balm, a very happy Tuesday to get through these 2020 times.
So what's a game that you played besides Animal Crossing? Because we know that's a game that you played with your daughter and whatnot. But like, what has been kind of like that like game or that gaming experience that you've had 2020 that's allowed you to kind of like deal with this year?
So I'm very lucky. I'm blessed, right? I mean, if you want to put it, I run 2 D&D games. You're in one of them. Pergamine's in another one. Those are awesome, right? They're great socialization moments. I do it on Roll20. So those if we put those 2 tabletop role playing game moments aside, I'm thankful for my Sunday gaming experience. Right, we did Division for a little while. We were doing Star Wars Squadrons every Sunday morning. Just having those, and they're all guys, but just having those folks online every Sunday that I could depend on a moment where we're shooting the shit with friends and buds over a video game. That is very low pressure. I know there's some people, some of my friends are worried about playing with us because we're hardcore. We are not. We are.
No,
terrible.
we're
So,
yeah.
this is
No.
we are F troop when it comes to playing these games, and so that's it.
Dan, that's a great game to kind of just dive into.
Yep.
That's
Breath of the Wild. Yep.
That's a game where you can. I remember. Like I've been meaning to just like play it again, but there's so many other games I want to play. So, but it's definitely one of those games that you just when you experience it the first time, it feels great to experience it. It's almost
like last year, right? Didn't that come out last year? You finally got some time.
No, it came out on launch, so it's on 3 years now.
Oh, 3 years, yeah, all right.
March and 3 years. But I will say that it's I envy people that are playing it now, especially during this time, because it's a game that really allows you to kind of just roam around this like nice world and deal with stuff. And
so that's good. I think I haven't been able to stick with the game, right? The energy.
I did that. That's what I did.
I've been bouncing back and forth. So, like, I mean, it sounds lame. I'm thankful for the Xbox Pass because it's given me the ability to practice gamer ADD, where because I can't devote energy to a game like I want, I can just go back and forth and try everything out.
Speed running. That's a great like.
Rolls has his own channel. He's been running some speed runs on some games. I think he's doing Zelda, or he did Zelda a little while ago.
Yeah, so that's what I want to know. I haven't gotten a chance to watch you. What specific game have you been running through? What's a game that you've been like? Because I know speed running is almost like it's a love.
There it goes.
Thing
Link's Awakening. Link's
oh
Awakening.
Man, that's so Game Boy one or the Switch one. That's an interesting one. So what's interesting about that is speed running is love and hate, right? Because you play a game so much that it becomes second nature, like muscle memory. You kind of run through it. When you watch some of these speed gamers, they know they know immediately when they didn't get.
They're barely even looking at the screen.
They're just like it's muscle memory, and but at the same time they hate it. Like they play this game so much that they love it, and then they also like.
I can see that.
You just hate it. So it's interesting to kind of you really got to devote yourself to a game that you love, so that you don't end up hating it by the end of it all. So I'm really pissed at him. I have no time to be pissed at her. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it.
That's fair. I will say though that the speedrunners are some of the coolest folks at PAX East to talk to. Right? They're so encouraging. They like cheer each other on when they're watching these speed runs happen up there. They have a big space at PAX East where they're all watching each other do speed runs on a big screen. And it's electric like Street Fighter, like watching like Street Fighter matches. You've got the same sort of encouraging the community, watching amazing
speedrunners are interesting because I would have thought if someone had told me that speedrunning was not competitive, I would have been like, "You're not kidding me! They've got to hate each other. They
speedrunning.
They all speedrun and
they trade tips.
They trade tips. They talk about the so and so exploit or so and so found this exploit to shave off a couple seconds or whatever. And I'm just like, that's amazing. So it is a pretty fun. That's why I do love watching games done quick when it happens.
Games done quick. Yeah.
So
that's it. Yeah, check out Rolls. Again, we're thankful for our friends and the connections we made, especially in this gamer community. And I think we've got a great group of folks here to chat with.
I think I'm thankful for my kids.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
yes.
All right, yeah, I'm thankful for my kid.
No, but I'm thankful for my kids being my second player sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, sometimes you want to play a game and you're like, ugh, and you want to play with another person, but it's a couch co-op game. Like, for example, like Streets of Rage is one of those games where you can play online, but you really want to play it like on a couch and having them pick up a controller. Way more fun to play it that way. Doing some of the trading with my kiddo on Animal Crossing was fun this year. I'm enjoying Nintendo's, world building.
It's also guaranteed that whenever I log into my Xbox, I receive an invite from your child to play Minecraft. So It is. My brother gets them too, for the record, which cracks me up because I'm like,
it's any one of my friends because it's my account
like,
that has all the
Joe
purchases.
doesn't want my brother playing with his kids.
He does not. He does not. I'm like, he's gonna join. He's gonna come in and like TNT, walk away.
A lot of cuss words with signs all over the place.
Oh, Dan, thank you so much.
Thanks,
we
Dan.
appreciate that.
Thank you. Thanks for everybody for
you.
jumping on, because this show would be boring if it was just Joe and I talking. It'd be just like a phone call, which we do all the time, right?
Yeah. So let's talk real quick. So now we're wrapping up the show here.
Sure.
What are you doing on Thursday?
So controversial. We're going to have dinner by ourselves, locked up in the house.
No,
as a typical no. We had plans to have a Thanksgiving dinner with our pod. I mean, it's such a horrible thing to say, but our kid does play dates with another kid that we know and their families, and we've exchanged spaces. So we were going to do a safe Thanksgiving with them. But with everything going on, neither family felt good about it. So we're going to do.
That's fair. At least it was mutual, and it wasn't someone having to rip that Band-Aid off and bust someone else's bubble.
Yeah. I mean, we were feeling weird about it, but they said, let's go for it. Oh, Misery X coming on. There you go, Anthem. All right. That's
Anthem,
good.
no, that's a great.
It's on EA Pass now. I was like, do I give it a has it changed much since launch? That's my big question. Has it changed much since launch?
No, I want to. So, Misery, tell me, please feel free before the end of our show. I want to hear, like, just give me a quick blurb. Sell me on why I should go back to that game. Only because I wanted to like it.
It did not capture my interest.
We're doing the same thing, man. I know that Texas is just awful in its own like.
Oh, they've got their own feelings.
Their own feelings about things. God mercy. But I know that you guys got to open up because you followed the rules early. Y'all opened up earlier than we did when it was time to open up. But you guys are shutting down again, right? Like, I think the state of New York is closing down a little bit again. Like, they're closing down.
Yeah, we've got orange zones or yellow zones. I don't know. Cuomo's shutting down things. I don't want to talk about. You know what?
I don't. But I want to. I just want to know. Like, you're right.
I am looking forward to a quiet dinner. I would have liked to have a larger. I mean,
family, friends come over, some sort of.
Yeah, man. I would have liked to have done it, but we're not, and I'm trying to come to peace with that and everything else going on, regardless of what's happening. Right.
That's fair.
So it's getting worse, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. Like, I'm sorry to everybody, but from a risk management perspective, which is also something I've done in my past, this is only going to get worse because no one is managing their risk. Yeah. or will at the houses that still are celebrating Thanksgiving in the normal fashion, right? So
yeah, so we are not. We're doing the same thing. I picked up all of our groceries yesterday, and we're cooking here at the house. We're staying home, not having anyone come over. It sucks. It's going to be the first Thanksgiving that we haven't had some sort of family or friend over for the cooking and the festivities. But yeah, I'm going to play some games, play with my kids. Yeah.
That might be the one nice thing, and I get to keep all the leftovers, I guess. That's the other thing, so...
Yeah,
we're actually going to all cook our favorite meals. Is what we're going to do. You know, twice stuffed baked potatoes, deviled eggs, mac and cheese. We're just going to do our favorite meals for the day. That's what we're going to be for Thanksgiving.
Isn't that the ending of Signs?
You know what? Yeah, sure. Let's celebrate 2020.
On that note, folks. Oh man, swing away, sir. Like, subscribe, share, follow us.
Reference to Signs, like I'm upset. I know. Who does this? That's like, where's the band? Where's that one? Let's bring that one out.
Like, subscribe, share, folks. The Afro Man. Guys, ladies, gentlemen, thank you so much. Another episode in the can. Have a safe holiday. Stay safe. If you're in a state that's closing down or having to do, my heart goes out to you. Have fun with your family or friends, or cook a good meal. And if you're not gonna cook, go pick up something from Denny's or something, and just something awful for you, and really just enjoy it. Like, big stack of pancakes.
Check in with the folks that you know may or may not be alone, right? So check in with all your friends. Be kind, I think, is the important part. We've all been yelling at each other all this year, so let's take one day where we don't.
One day we would do it. Go watch some football.
Boo!
Watch some football. Oh, and of course, Black Friday's happening, so capitalist baby, go spend it. Go spend, enjoy. Take care, everyone. Love you. Episode 102 in the can.